This is the Variety Show 2024. I want to do a video about something called minimalism. And most people probably know what it is, but there's some very good documentaries about minimalism. And it means that you live your life where you don't spend any more than you have to. You don't do anything more than really what you have to do. You just the essentials. You just focus on the essentials in the financial, but everything, not just money, but every materialism, but just everything. And you don't do spend any more than you have to. Like if you have run out of pens, let's say you run out of pens and you just need a pen, you don't buy a set of 10 pens. That wouldn't make any sense because they're all going to run out of ink. They're going to dry up. You just, at the most, you buy one or two. Because it's just going to run out of ink again. They're going to all dry up by the time you're done with the one pen. It just doesn't make any sense. Or batteries. I mean, just the smallest things to the biggest things, like houses and cars. And it's a great way to live. I mean, there was a video I had seen probably over 10 years ago, and I never forgot the video. It was about a young guy named Bill, and he liked to surf, and he lived on the beach in Southern California, and he talked about his house, like he built his own house out of materials that, and it was a great, right on the beach, because he liked to surf, he wanted to live on the beach, and he loved California. And he had two dogs because he loved dogs, and he loved to surf, and he loved his dogs, and he lived alone on this home in the beach in California. And he said, I have the perfect life. I have the closest thing to heaven on earth because I live minimalism. And it was a Christian. He talks about his Christian life, that he was a devout Christian. So it's even biblical. Minimalism is biblical. I mean, Christ himself, as the story goes, the story of Jesus, like when he was traveling with the apostles. I mean, he a lot of times he slept in other people's houses. Food. He had the 12 apostles. He had them live within their means for the ministry, his ministry, how he ate and where he slept, and he went town to town of the story of Jesus. It's biblical. I mean, minimalism is biblical, and especially now with the inflation and the economic stuff, with the worst inflation since the 70s that we have, and everyone complaining about inflation. I mean, even more so, economic, biblical, minimalism is the way to go. I also saw a story of a famous celebrity, and I think he was one of these NBA basketball players or someone living large. And this guy had like 6 cars. And a friend of his said, why are you doing that? Why are you buying 6 cars why would you do that? And he said, because I can afford it. It's fun. I love this kind of lifestyle. And he says, you're being foolish. His friend told him, you're being foolish because you're not, you could have an emergency, even with everything you have. You could have an emergency where you're going to have financial problems. You might not always have that. And you have to think about your retirement. You're going to get old. You might not always have what you have. You shouldn't live like extravagant like that. And he changed. He took his friend's advice, that even though he was a famous celebrity and had all the money to afford 6 cars, he took his friend's advice and he changed because he saw that the foolishness in what he was doing, just because he enjoyed, just for fun. You think of someone like Shaquille O'Neal, 10 Rolex watches, 6 cars, 5 houses. Some of these people in Hollywood. So minimalism is the way to go, and I've come to the conclusion that it's really the closest you're going to get to heaven on earth, and is minimalism. I mean, that's almost like practically touching heaven, as far as I'm concerned, because you don't do anything more than what you have to, living within your means, but it stretches mostly economic and money, but even beyond that. Minimalism can be applied to everything. every aspect of life, your home, your job, your car, traveling, your food supply, mentally, physically, spiritually. It's healthy. Minimalism is healthy. And you don't obsess over things. It keeps you focused, like a laser beam, on only the essential things. It's the closest you're not going to find heaven anywhere, outside of heaven, on this realm. You're not going to find heaven anywhere. The closest you're going to get to heaven is not, um, and going on a vacation or anything like that, or a cruise or a vacation. The closest you're going to get in 2024 in this economy, and we just had the election, Biden going to Trump, like the closest you're going to get to your heaven is minimalism. And I would watch these documentaries on minimalism and learn more about what minimalism. It's a lifestyle, and it's a lifestyle, and it's the closest you get to heaven on earth. In my opinion, it is literally heaven on earth, and it's because it applies Jesus. It applies biblical principles of the New Testament as well. This is the Variety Show 2024.